Hey, welcome back to the channel. I'm actually recording this the same day I released my first YouTube video in 3 years. The I titled it "The Homeless and Creating," and I actually wanted to originally put this video up, at least this version or this drawing that I'm actually doing. It's the As you can see, it's just Slowpoke from Pokemon, the first generation. I'm actually doing a challenge right now, and I forget where I got the challenge from, but I think I saw like a YouTube comment one time, or I saw a comment somewhere where they were saying that they were doing a challenge of drawing all 150 Pokemon from the first generation. And I think actually it's 151 because of Mewtwo or Mew or whatever, whoever the 151st is. Anyways, yeah. So I just wanted to kind of actually expand on my previous video about, being homeless and creating, and kind of get more into what I'm trying to get accomplished, and also kind of get into how I became homeless in the first place. Because I think accountability is one thing that, you know, a lot of people lack, unfortunately. And for me, I've lacked it many, 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 many years. And I think for me to take accountability for me actually being in the situation that I'm in, I think that's the best scenario in this case. But yeah. So in terms of how I became homeless, so I've been homeless a few different times in my life actually. So I'm 31 now, and previously I was like homeless in my 20s. Also in my teens I was homeless. And throughout my life I've been homeless sporadically. And one thing that I've always tried to figure out in terms of how I've become homeless or why I've become homeless is just why. Like, why is it that I get into like a situation where I have to be forced to be homeless? Because it's not. It's something that I think is not. It's not always explored enough within people about why they became homeless. Because everybody has a story and everybody has their own, scenario. Um, right off the bat, though, I will say that I'm not on any sort of drugs or anything like that. I'm not spending money on drugs, not spending money on alcohol or anything. I don't have any of those, vices, thankfully. Um, I only drink a few times a year, and that's only really when I'm around or when I'm with other people celebrating something like a birthday or whatever that is, or even a holiday. But and the drugs, I've never really liked drugs. Um, yeah, I never really tried drugs. I should say that first of all. I've never really tried drugs, but marijuana is what I'm pretty much saying here. Anyways, so I haven't done marijuana in like 10 years. So, I've never really liked the taste of it, the cotton mouth from it, the hunger you get from it. It doesn't really help me. It makes me feel lightheaded. I don't feel like within myself. Um, but yeah, so, oh, I'm actually going to jump back really quick. Sorry about the rambling here, but in terms of like the reason why I'm drawing Slowpoke right now is that I've already drawn all 78 other Pokemon. You can see it on my Instagram if you go to it. But every day, what I do in terms of my creating and my drawing, every day I draw for at least 1 hour. And the first thing I'll do is that I start drawing the Pokemon first. So first I draw and then I paint the Pokemon, and I've been doing pretty good, honestly. Like, I started off rough, and even now, I'm not the best at it. Don't get me wrong. Like, my color blending and all that could still use some help, but yeah. But that's what you're seeing right now. It's just me recording, the previous the same Starbucks that I was at. If you listen to my other video or watch my other video, the same Starbucks I was at, I did this first, and then I did the other like three or four other drawings or whatever. But yeah. So, anyways, getting back to what I was talking about with homelessness. So like I said, I don't actually do any. I don't have any of those vices, but I do have other vices. You know, some not comfortable right now with. Sorry, I'm actually reaching for something right now, so you might hear some noise at the moment. But yeah, some of it I'm not comfortable with yet disclosing at the moment, and but you know, once I'm able to get rid of that, or not even get rid of, but just once I'm able to deal with that shame, you know, of me and my addictions or whatever. Sorry about this awkward cut right here, but I accidentally did something that I guess messed up the recording that I was doing at the time, the uh, the voice recording that I was doing. So, but I'm gonna jump right back into kind of where I left off at with the addiction part of it. So, like I was saying, I think we all have addictions, and I'll be more forthcoming with that, you know, in the future. Just right now, you know, I'm not comfortable with it yet. And in terms of like healing any addiction, I know that you want to make sure that you are able to admit your addictions and to have them out in the open and to not feel like you're being judged for them. But right now, I'm still dealing with it at the moment. But I was saying that one good addiction that I have, excuse me, got a little hiccup there. One good addiction that I do have is drawing at the moment. So, you know, drawing, working out. But yeah, mostly the thing you're seeing right now is drawing. With drawing, I've been doing it for about a year and a half. If you listen to my previous video, since January of 2024. And that's one addiction that I want to keep going for, honestly, for the rest of my life. Even if I don't make it a full-time job, or I'm not able to, or whatever the reason, you know, or not reason, but whatever the situation is, I still want to do it. I still want to be able to draw and be able to do it as a hobby and post it on Instagram. And I'm pretty sure you'll hear this a lot from me in the future, and even now. I'm not very good at drawing quite yet. You know, I'm decent. I'm way better than when I started. You know, I remember I could barely draw a circle and triangle and square before. And but my coloring, like I said, I need a lot of help with that. So I'm still, you know, learning every day, draw every day. So that's one thing that I'm doing. Um, yeah. So back to rambling again. Anyways, back to my homelessness. That's what I was originally going to touch on. So, in terms of the homelessness part, um, I think for me, where it all started was just the way I was brought up. You know, so I'm the youngest of three. I do have a stepbrother, but unfortunately, you know, he didn't, or we don't talk at the moment, or we haven't talked in a while. Which, you know, hopefully we do end up talking again. Not because of anything bad. It's just that, you know, we haven't we have never like communicated like that. But anyways, so I'm the youngest of three from my mother, and I mostly live with my mom. And yeah, so I was babied a lot, you know, as the only boy. I have two older sisters, but as the only boy, I was babied, you know, and I was protected a lot, and I think that's kind of natural for, you know, the or not even natural. It's just it's a commonality that I've seen for a lot of either only children or the youngest child, where they're the ones that are mostly get protected, they're sheltered the most, and then they tend to be the weirdest, I guess you could say. And there's nothing wrong with being weird. Trust me, I'm weird. I own it. And when I say weird, I don't mean that in like oh, that's, you know, like in a bad way. When I say weird, I just mean different. That's all that I mean. That's what I should use. I should say we're different, you know. and it could have nothing to do at all with the actual, you know, placement of when you're born and all that. It could have nothing to do with that, but it might. There might be something to explore. Anyways, so kind of giving you the backstory of how I became homeless. I kind of got to go all the way back to when I was being babied and all that. And this is not to say, by the way, by me saying this is not to place blame on anybody else. Like I said, accountability. This was all my doing, and that's number one. Is that you know I never want to make it seem like it's anybody else's fault because in the end, I have my own mind. I have I choose my own actions and I do what I want to do. So, it's up to me to figure out, what it is that I've been doing that's not been the quote unquote correct way, in being homeless, and anyways, yeah. So I was babied a lot as a kid. I understand that. And I think with me being babied a lot and being catered to a lot and just me being the youngest, the baby of the family at that time, I think I was just really sheltered. So since I was sheltered, I was kind of naive to the way that the way that the world works, and also just the the what's the word I'm looking for here? I don't want to say commitment because I don't think that's the right word, but just maybe that's what I'm looking for, the work ethic. So the work ethic that it takes in order to make it in this world, because everybody works hard, I think. I know some people want to debate that, but I think I like to think that everybody works hard for what they have, And don't get me wrong, there are some outliers that don't work at all. They have everything that they want, or that they say they want, or that we see that we think that they want, and maybe they do, maybe they don't. We can never really tell. But for me personally, because of me being so sheltered and all that, I was I got under the mindset that there will always be somebody there for me, and or there'll always be like a safety net, and through the few times that I've been homeless, I've come to the realization that there's no safety net there. There's nobody, I have to build my own safety net, pretty much is what it is, and everybody has to do that. This isn't just a me thing. This just so happens that I'm in this situation, so that's why I'm referring to myself. But it's not singular. It's definitely a kind of a shared human experience that we all have to build our own safety nets. And but yeah. So with me, with this most recent time of me being homeless, I've been homeless for about a year now, and maybe a little over a year, about a year. But anyways, yeah. So with me being homeless and me being homeless for about a year now in this situation, or in this current homelessness situation, me me learning every day, me journaling every day, me finding out, myself and what I want in life. With all my previous jobs, I guess I should start with that. So with this most recent time, again, I apologize for the rambling. I'm kind of jumping all over the place, but I'm just it's kind of like a journal entry for me, to be honest with you, just in spoken form, if I can talk correctly. So yeah. So with this most recent time of my homelessness, for the third time, I I quit my previous job. I was working at a Starbucks as a barista, and you know, it was paying what 18 an hour, I believe, but which is, don't get me wrong, 18 an hour when you're not making any money is, that's at least you get something, at least you're working, trying to get the hours and all that, and But with all these jobs that I've had many, many jobs, and people think I'm lying when I say this, but I've had like I said, I'm 31, so I've had like 20, 30 jobs, and for, I know for particularly for like, I don't actually, I take that back. I'm not gonna talk about that part, but yeah. So there are some people that will look at that and be like, well, no wonder that you're homeless. You over here, you can't hold a steady job. Which I understand that. Don't get me wrong. I understand holding a steady job and all that. It's and it's not that I'm better than any job by any means. I would love to. I would love to have a regular job. It's just that for me personally, I can't do it. Like I can't. I have to do something else. I've always felt that way. I've never liked that 9 to 5 grind. I've never liked being on somebody else's time. And I've been told multiple times by people in my life that, well, you got to do this. You have to do this until you can find a way to make it, into what you want to do. And for me, I'm like, well, I can't. Well, okay, let me not say that I can't, because that's not true. I didn't want to work that other job. Is what this boils down to. I didn't want to, and it's like, well, you know, this is me kind of talking to myself. Well, people do things all the time that they don't want to do, but they have to do it in order to survive and make a living. And I get that, and I completely understand that. And for me, I've realized that, you know what? In order for me to pursue what I want to pursue, which is art, creativity, it's not just digital art. This is actually, but I like writing also. I like music, I like making music. There's a whole bunch of creative stuff. I like photography that I like to do. But yeah, so, I've come to the realization that, maybe I have to be homeless in order to make the life that I want to make. Maybe I have to be at the ground level in order to make the life that I want to make. And I think that's where I need to start. Because for other people, I think I think they want to start, and even from what I've been told, I know a lot of people that people start is, okay, I want to get an apartment or get a house, and then after that then I'll get a job, or vice versa. I'll get a job, get a car, then get my place, and then get a start a family and all that stuff, whatever. And then they try to pursue stuff a lot of times, or maybe they try to do the career thing and all that, and they'll start the family later. For me, I'm just the way that I'm looking at it. Everybody's path is different, but the way that I'm figuring this out, or the way that I'm looking at it right now, is that okay. You know, I'm already at the rock bottom at the moment, so not emotionally. I'm just saying rock bottom in terms of like financially, because honestly, like mentally, physically, like I'm in the best mindset that I can be, at least that I think so. But I know a lot of people would be like, "What do you mean? Like you're homeless and you don't really have a lot of money?" Um, I do have a car, but it's not really even my car. It's a rental car through the Uber program or whatever. But it's a car, so I pay for that, and but I'm trying to find my way. Is what I'm trying to say. Like I'm finding my own I'm finding my own life is what I'm doing right now. And I think that's what I didn't realize, is that I thought that I had to. have a regular job, and then from that regular job, then I had to find a way to do what I really wanted to do. It's like, no, you don't have to do it the way other people are telling you to do it. It's not don't get me wrong, it's not the ideal situation for me, but it kind of is though. And it sounds crazy to say that. And I know it sounds crazy to whoever's probably listening to this, if anybody listens to this. But yeah, like it's kind of ideal for me at least to be in this situation so that I can freely create how I want to create. Because I never felt more free than I do right now. And it's like, it's honestly, it's a oxymoron. Like it's very freeing, And I don't get me wrong, this is not me recommending homelessness to anybody. Because if you can, avoid it. Avoid this shit. Like don't be homeless, of course. Try to find people that, while you're pursuing your dream, maybe try to find someone who is willing to take a chance on you and is able to say, you know what, I see that you're struggling financially. I know you don't have a lot of money, and I see you're trying to make it. With the whether it be creative or not being even creative or whatever you're trying to do in life. Just try to find somebody if you can, even if it's a roommate. Somebody who doesn't even know you, family member, friend, whatever. Just find somebody. Unfortunately for me, I couldn't find anybody like that, so that's why I'm in the situation I'm in right now. And this is not me saying to just live in their house rent free. Don't do that. Give them some money. Like give them something. Whatever you can afford. Try to make something. Like for me, right now I'm doing, like I said, I'm doing an Uber rental program. So I'm working, doing Uber driving, and it's decent. It's actually good money. The only issue is that since I have a rental car, it's taking a lot of the money that I'm making. So that's one thing that I am working on, is trying to save up enough so that I can actually have my own car, and then I could really start, you know, saving and doing what I want to do. But yeah, for right now though, the rental car is kind of killing me. But it's a job right now. It's something that I am gonna stick with. I've been sticking with it, and yeah. But anyways, so kind of going back to the story that I was telling. So, like I said, I've had a lot of quote unquote good jobs in my life. I've been a contractor for Facebook. I've been a contractor for Google. I was mostly in the tech industry, so I was a contractor for Intel for a little while. Also, a lot of, like I said, quote unquote good jobs. Benefits. You know, good pay, decent pay. You're able to make a living off of that stuff. You know, but the more that I've tried to pursue and kind of put myself into a square peg as a metaphor, the more I try to fit into, you know, having a regular job, the more it just didn't gel with me. I couldn't do it. I could, I just couldn't do it. And I know it's so damn cliche to say. I get it. Not everybody, trust me, not everybody wants to do creative stuff or be their own boss. Or a lot of people love 9 to 5 jobs. A lot of people love, working their jobs, and that's awesome. It's just, for me, it wasn't for me personally. And I'll never try to belittle anybody that works a regular job, because I did it for a long time. It just wasn't for me, which, but unfortunately there are people out there that will try to belittle people that want to get outside of that, though, which I don't understand that, the opposite of that either. People are out here trying to make something of themselves, be productive members of society. They're just doing it in a different way than most people do it. And I'll say quote unquote regular people, but at the end of the day, we're all regular people. Like, like we're all people. There's no like quote unquote regular people. It's just people. So, anyways, off of that, I go on a whole tangent about how stupid that is. Anyways, us as people, we all got to figure out what we like, what we're good at, and how we can make that into something that can benefit others. And for me, my creativity and my childlike demeanor, childlike mindset, I think that can help society in a way where I can help other people with either discovering their own passions or even like teaching other people whatever they want to learn in terms of creative space, something, or even just helping people just by volunteering, just like at a local shelter or something. Because that's something I love to do also. It's just helping other people. But yeah, so it just so happened that one thing I don't like is just working for other people. That's the only thing. And I don't think that's something to be looked down upon. In both ways. I don't think people that do work for other people should be looked down upon. And also, I don't think that people who don't want to work for other people should be looked down upon. I think that as long as you're not hurting anybody and as long as you're doing something with your life, I think it's perfectly fine with whatever you want to do, no matter what it is, whether you want to be a singer, an artist, musician, uh, airplane pilot, airline pilot. I was going to say pilot, doctor, lawyer, nurse, whatever you want to do with your life. My thing is, if you want to do it, if you could dream about it, you could do it. It's going to take a lot of work, which, I'm 31 now, and I'm just figuring this out. But it's going to take work, but you could do it. Yeah, so with me quitting all these jobs, not having any stable income, thankfully for me, one conscious thing that I did do that I'm so grateful for, I haven't had any kids out of wedlock or woodlock. Is it woodlock or wedlock? I'm gonna look this up on my phone right now while I'm talking. Is it woodlock or wedlock? Wedlock or woodlock? Don't judge me. I don't know which one it is. I'm not a scholar. State of being married. Wedlock refers to the state of being married, while woodlock has two meanings, as a surname and as a piece of wood. Used to keep a rudder from rising. Born out of wedlock refers to child born to unmarried parents. Okay, so yeah, so according to the Merriam-Webster dictionary, it is wedlock. So I haven't had any kids out of wedlock, thankfully. But yeah, and I also don't like I date every once in a while, but for the most part, I focus on myself and focus on what I'm doing. But in life, which it's I I'm gonna say this and it's gonna sound stupid, but I'm gonna say it anyway. It's worked out for me. And it's like, what? What do you mean it's worked out for you? You're homeless, bro. It's like, yeah, but I mean, it's worked out for me in terms of not having those responsibilities. Because there are people that I know, you probably know people too, if you're listening to this, that have kids and have the quote unquote ideal life, but they are miserable. They're either with somebody that's only with them because they have kids, or they have money, or they just want somebody because they want somebody. They don't really, or they're with them because they need somebody and not really want them, And there's a whole bunch of different reasons why people, or I shouldn't say why, but there's a whole bunch of reasons that you'll see where people are just unhappy with their lives. And what they're drawing, I'm not even sure if I'm still drawing right now. Like I said, I recorded this earlier, and I think I'm done with it now. But yeah. So I became homeless. So I'm gonna try to wrap this up because I only got a few minutes left. The reason why I became homeless, there's a few different factors that came into effect. One, not keeping a steady income, not keeping a job, not making any income. Uh, Two, I would say not knowing the value of hard work and consistency. I guess that could be two things, but I would say both. I'll put both of those in the same category: hard work and consistency. So, so yeah. So I think with me figuring these couple of things out, these two things out: hard work, consistency, and then keeping a steady income. If I could do those few things, I can get out of this, And it's a daily grind, constantly doing it. And yeah, so what can you expect from this YouTube channel? So you can expect just me drawing and then me just doing this ranting about stuff. There are some subjects in the news that I want to cover coming up soon. So like there's this one thing, what was it called? There's an individual. Let me see. Let me see if it's still like on the news at all. Anyways, there was a gentleman. He ended up killing a cop, unfortunately, and I do have some thoughts about it, and I'm not gonna get into it right now because, like I said, I only got a few minutes left. But yeah, so I think that's his. I think I found him. Rodney. All right, let's see. Rodney Hinton. Yeah, Rodney Hinton. Anyways, he's a cop or he's not a cop, excuse me. He's an individual. His son got shot by the cops, and he ended up killing a random sheriff's deputy or whatever. I'm not sure if it was a sheriff's deputy or if it was a police officer, but I gotta look that up. But I'll look more into it probably in the next few days, and I'll probably talk about that because there are some people out there, unfortunately, that are celebrating it. Like, yeah, he got his get back, and it's I'll say my opinion for that on the video, but sorry about that. It cut out again, my mic, because yeah. Anyways, but yeah, I'm just wrapping up real quick these last few minutes. So yeah. Anyways, there are people that say that the cop deserves it or whatever, and yeah, I just got some opinions about it, and you can probably tell from my tone of voice what my opinion is on it. But there's a reason for it. Yeah. So, anyways, I think I'm gonna wrap this up. So, anyways, yeah. So things you could expect from this YouTube channel, just me drawing. I'm gonna be likely doing more like Pokemon drawings in the future. Like I said, I'm doing a Pokemon challenge. I'm drawing the whole first generation, so 150, 151, I think, something like that. If you include Mew or Mewtwo. So yeah, I'm gonna be doing that, and you'll see more videos of me, painting and all that. And then, like I said, just ranting about stuff that I want to talk about, whether that be life or just random stuff that is happening on the news these days. But yeah, so I will talk to y'all soon. I'm gonna let this drawing finish up, and I'll talk to y'all next time.